For 60 years, Ford built heavy trucks in America, the kind that hauls steel across mountain passes and timber through the Pacific Northwest. Then one morning in February 1997, it was over. The line went quiet, and everything Ford had built, the technology, the tooling, 60 years of dealer relationships, was sold to a competitor for $200 million. That competitor was Freightliner. But here's the question that never got a clean answer. Ford was still building good trucks when they sold. So why did Ford disappear from the Class 8 market? The answer has two sides. One is the story that Ford had better places to invest its money than on semi-trucks. The other is how Freightliner spent 20 years building the exact position it needed and then waited for the right moment to make one move. What looks like normal competition only makes sense until you see how consistently the same pattern kept repeating year after year. To understand how Ford lost, you have to understand what Ford actually built. The 1976 LTL 9000 was a serious truck, a genuine Class 8 competitor that fleet managers bought in volume and drivers called a throne. The fuel economy numbers were real. By the early 1980s, Ford held 15% of the American Class 8 market. Not dominant, but serious. The kind of presence that takes decades to build. Nobody on that factory floor in 1982 understood they were standing at the high water mark. At that exact moment, something was already happening on the other side of the market. In 1981, the same year Ford was selling trucks at serious volume, Daimler-Benz acquired Freightliner. And what Daimler brought to that acquisition changed everything. In 1981, Daimler-Benz acquired Freightliner. That one transaction created a competitive imbalance that would take 15 years to fully play out. Ford's truck division sat inside a giant American automaker, one where the F-Series was generating billions, the Explorer was rewriting the SUV market, and the Taurus was winning sales awards. Against those numbers, heavy trucks were always going to be a harder argument for capital. Freightliner didn't face that negotiation. Daimler brought German capital into the American market with a single directive: grow. No competing product lines, no margin comparisons working against them, just runway. Between 1981 and 1991, Freightliner's vehicle sales more than doubled. Every year, Ford's market share drifted. Freightliner didn't just grow, they absorbed the space Ford was leaving behind before anyone else could move in. Dealer locations in regions where Ford's presence was already thin. Fleet relationships in markets where Ford was losing ground. Service infrastructure that compounded year over year. Ford needed investment at the exact moment the rest of the company had better places to put it. Freightliner never had that conversation. So Ford is losing ground quietly. Freightliner is building quietly, and the distance between them is widening every year. Ford's share of the heavy truck market didn't collapse. It drifted. 15% became 13. 13 became 10. Not because of one failure, but because every year the gap between what Ford needed and what Ford got kept getting a little wider. By 1987, the Louisville plant was running at half capacity, built for a market share